Let's speak about Lucid Motors, baby. What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor, and there is quite a bit to speak about today. So if you've been following Lucid Motors for a while, you know that we have been on an extremely crazy ride here. From the early days when we were buying this company in the 11s, 12s, 13s, to seeing us hit $60+ a share, to proceeding to gap all the way down, back down now to the low 20s. This company has brought us on a journey, and it is expected that the merger may well go through by the end of next month, but that's not really what I even want to speak about. It will tie into a few points. Now, one thing I do want to speak about is this: valuation remains a concern for Lucid Motors. And from day one, there has been confusion in regards to Lucid's valuation. It all began with the pipe when the shares weren't sold at $10, but $15. And that threw valuations all over the place. And that is pretty much what led to this huge crash, alongside with it being completely and utterly overbought. I want to go through a few points personally from their analyst day presentation. Now, this is a little bit old. It's from May. I want to look at about a minute and a half worth of this video right here. Lucid CEO: company is on track to begin production in the second half of 2021. Just so that you guys can see it, so that you can see the CEO telling us that we are on track, but are we really on track? And there's one or two more small things we'll speak about too. But the biggest thing to figure out if you are an investor right now is, does the valuation make sense? What can you expect to happen next month, and more than likely over the next year or two in regards to production and valuations? And ultimately, is now a good time to invest or hold, or is it a good time to get out? So right before we do get into the video, my friends, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? It really does help me out a lot. Consider drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing with Lucid Motors. Are you an investor? Are you holding? Have you sold? What are you doing, my friend? And please, my friend, if you are indeed new around here, consider hitting that juicy red subscribe button and join the family of investors. Also, if you're interested in joining my private Discord group, that'll be the first link in the description. Juicy community. We've been speaking about these guys since literally day one. So we are actually going to start things off with a short clip from the CEO when he was over on CNBC very recently about production happening in the second half of 2021, which is about a week away.
Peter, you've said that you plan to put vehicles into production in the second half of the year. The second half of the year begins next month. So what's it look like right now for you?
Well, we achieved a landmark red letter day last Friday. We started building our quality validation run, production run of cars. We've completed our pre-production run very successfully. And last Friday, June the 18th, the last working day of spring, we commenced our quality validation build at our state-of-the-art factory in Arizona. And there's a big difference here, Andrew. The quality validation build cars are the cars which ultimately we will sell directly to customers once we've got the quality right. And that build is currently underway. This is a big step forward in our mission to industrialize Lucid Air.
So there we have it, my friends. CEO is telling us we're on production. This is what they've been doing, quality tests, etc., etc. All of the things that you would be expecting, but now we have heard it directly from the CEO's mouth. And he does go on now to expand a little bit on production for next year.
You've said that you plan to deliver 577 vehicles this year. You have 10,000 plus reservations. Are you on schedule?
Absolutely, we're bang on schedule. And as soon as the quality is right, we're on schedule to release those cars, what I believe will be the best car in the world, to proud new owners in the second half of this year. We're absolutely on track for that.
And there you go, my friends. Now, I think it is his job as a CEO to, make things sound good. So I think we should take everything with a pinch of salt, especially when we go and look at pretty much all of the EV companies over the last year or so, and how pretty much everybody has seen delays of some sort. Not even just the small guys, but the bigger guys, Tesla and NIO included. Obviously, those two not to the same extent as many others, but you get the picture. Because you really have to keep in mind that Lucid Motors, okay, the CEO, they want to be able to compete with Tesla. That's pretty much what it's all about for them. And obviously, as of this moment in time, they are nowhere even near to that. And I don't think many people expect them to be the next Tesla as such, but I do think that there is a space for this company in the future. That's why I'm an investor. Thankfully, we got in at the right time when I sold my initial investment at near the very top, so I now have nearly 400 free shares in the company. But yeah, so before we go and have a look at a few more things from the analyst presentation, I want to start on this article here. Valuation remains a concern for Lucid Motors. This has always been a topic of discussion in regards to this company. Literally from day one. So they hit nearly $65 a share earlier this year. Right now you can see we're sitting at right around $23. We've been down back as low as pretty much $17 a share, which is insane. Keep in mind that the pipe price was $15, not $10. So for CCIV, for Lucid Motors to come back down that low, pretty nuts. So why are the reasons that this happened? Okay, all electric vehicle stocks have corrected in the recent past, literally all of them. Tesla from 900 to 600. There's a lot of them out there that have seen 30 to 50 or 60% drops. And also there is little doubt that the valuation for Lucid Motors seems stretched. And yes, that is fair. So the pipe transaction was priced at $15 per share. That implied a pro forma equity value of $24 billion. Now that's a lot of money. And keep in mind that they're hoping to deliver 577 vehicles this year. 577 this year with a $24 billion valuation. And around $23, it's a $35 billion valuation. If people joined the Lucid Motors party a little bit late, if you weren't here from literally day one, when we were investing before we knew CCIV was going to be merging with Lucid Motors, you won't know that there's been a lot of excitement for this company for a long time. On this channel even, I always said I was waiting for these guys to go public. The other one was Rivian. There are two companies that many EV investors have been waiting for to go public. So when we saw the chance to get in nice and early, we took it, we snagged it up. And there is good reason for that. To an extent, lately, the tone has shifted. There is a lot more negativity surrounding this company, as there is with a lot of EV companies. But I think that's because the market conditions aren't particularly good right now, for growth in particular, things like inflation, etc., yada, yada. So hype did send this company to the moon. Now it's coming back down, and it does need to find a realistic valuation. But where is that? That's a difficult thing to pinpoint with pretty much any EV company, especially when the biggest benchmark to be compared to is Tesla, who trades at insane multiples, let's be honest. The company is guided for sale of 20,000 electric vehicles and revenue of $2.2 billion in 2022. I want Lucid Motors to do incredibly, okay? I'm an investor. It's one of my biggest positions. I want them to do so well, because that will mean I will make lots of money. Really seems like a stretch, in my own opinion, to go from 577 from pretty much next week to the end of this year to 20,000 by next year. Keep in mind, we only have about 9,000 reservations. Seems like a bit of a stretch. And the thing is, in a separate interview, the CEO didn't commit the vehicle delivery number of 20,000. It's very likely that projections will change and this will disappoint the markets. And I agree. And that's something I want you guys to be aware of, because things like that do affect the markets in the short term, but also in the medium term. If people value a company at what their expected earnings are for next year, and that implies selling 20,000 vehicles, and they come out and say, we're only going to sell 7,000, it's going to drop the valuation hugely. I would again, though, like to reiterate the fact, for me, this is a long-term investment, and I think having the opportunity to get into Lucid Motors this early on, if you are going to hold for 5 to 10 years, is going to be insane. I think they are one of the more respected brand names out there already in the EV industry. When you do look at some of the numbers, okay, expect to ramp up vehicle deliveries to 49,000 units in 2023, and by 2026, vehicle deliveries to be at 250,000 units. If these numbers happen, it's incredible, but they do seem very high. So again, guys, consider they're not just competing against Tesla, especially not by 2026. They're going to be competing against pretty much every major auto manufacturer. And this is something that EV investors should understand no matter what companies you are investing in. But the competition is only going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's why what happens over the next, in my opinion, 12 months with Lucid Motors is so important. They have to establish themselves as a key force very early on to be one of the biggest names in 5 years to come. I hope they can do it. I genuinely believe they have the potential to do it. They're in their own niche. They have nice vehicles. They have good management, in my personal opinion. We will have to wait and see, though. Speaking of management, just really quickly, I want to go through this from May 5th. Lucid Motors appoints Sherry House as Chief Financial Officer. She truly has an awful lot of experience in the industry. If we go back to 94, 4 years as a product engineer in GM electric vehicle. There's more in here, corporate finance, etc. But then we also see General Motors 6 years, senior manager, business planning and analysis, venture capital lead, manager of corporate development and strategy. She's really done it all. And there are many other companies in here as well. Most recently, Waymo for nearly 4 years. But a lot of experience at General Motors, specifically with high managerial positions and EV. So they really are some of the more important things. Now, there's a few more updates from the Analyst Day presentation that we're going through. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Obviously, there's a lot that we should already know. They reiterate the reservations at above 9,000. Continued expansion of the team, including Sherry House, as we just said, with key additions to leadership and employee base now over 2,000. That sentence there, guys, should just show you how these guys are differentiated than a lot of the other smaller EV companies. As he said in the interview, the testing and validation of the Lucid Air is progressing well and on track for second half 2021 start of production for customer deliveries. And this was essentially confirmed in that interview from yesterday. 74 pre-production vehicles now built in their AMP1 manufacturing facility in Arizona. So again, these vehicles are being built. Further built out retail and service network with additional locations in New York, Illinois, Arizona, and California to open over the coming 2 months. The New York one now being open. The Lucid ESS prototype is undergoing testing now. And one thing, market positioning, establishing the Lucid brand. And I think this is something they've done well, but I also think it's something that they will most certainly have to continue doing well. So if we take a look at the chart for the last few months, look, there's been a lot of stagnation since this huge drop off. Bottomed out right down here, just below $17 a share, went all the way back up to 27. Currently, we're somewhere in the middle. You will see they do still have considerable up and considerable down moves. There are still some days where we get very large volume. News does still move this company. I think we're going to have to wait for the merger to happen to figure out what direction we really are going to begin to head in. But me personally, I'm very happy to be involved in this company. I'm very happy with my cost basis. I'm very happy to have all of these free shares, and I'm going to be happy to hold them for the years to come. But anyway, my friends, that's my update video on CCIV. That's where I stand with them. Confidence is still there, but I do think we are in for a shaky month or so, in particular with the merger, with everything like that, with us getting into the second half, with people expecting production to begin very, very soon. If the CEO and the team can keep up to date with those expectations, I think we go on a nice upward move soon. If we can't, sadly, I think we have to start coming back down. But anyway, my friends, if you watch this video all the way till the end, you are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you being here from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me. If you enjoyed the video, maybe took some value, some insight, could I please ask you to hit that juicy like button? Maybe drop me a comment down below, and please, my friends, subscribe if you're new around here. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day. I'll see you in another video very soon. Peace.